Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Immigration. I'm your host Anushka Yadav, and today we have Brampton Immigration Consultancy's Marketing Director Sandeep Singh with us. Today, before we begin, let's talk about what is an spousal open work permit. So Sandeep, can you please tell us what is exactly a spousal open work permit?
Thank you so much, Anushka, for having me in this show. So spousal open work permit is reuniting husband and wife in Canada. So it can be done in two ways. So if someone is a student and he or she can be reunited with his or her spouse, and the spouse can come to Canada and work full time. On the other hand, the other member of the family, which is wife or husband, can work, study in a college or a school and finish his or her education. The second point can be if someone is on a post-graduation work permit and is working on NOC O, A or B, can ask his or her spouse to come to Canada and work full-time on an open work permit. So open work permit can only be granted to people who are spouses of a student or who are spouses of work permit holder working under NOC O, A or B.
Okay, thank you. And my next question is basically, how long does it take for an open spousal work permit application to get through, and how long is it valid for?
So due to pandemic, I cannot give a time frame. It's been taking long these from last few months, but a random number, if I have to say, would be around 6 to 8 months. If it's outside Canada. If it's within Canada, it's much faster. And it's valid for the same time period that a spouse who is a student or on a work permit, the time frame that the total work permit or total study permit that individual has, the same time open work permit period will be given to the spouse.
Okay, and there's another question that most people want to know about but don't really get an answer to. What is the cost that's associated with this application?
Just the embassy fees.
Okay. And then my next question is basically, what are the chances of acceptance and refusal?
Perfect. So just to let you know, spousal open work permit, yes, you can say it's a family reunification. It comes under family reunification, but it is a temporary permit. So under temporary permits, there are never guarantees. Actually, in immigration, there's never guarantee. But in temporary permits, the guarantees are very low. Although the success rate for spousal open work permit is very high, but in spousal open work permit, actually you need to prove that the relationship is genuine. It's not marriage of convenience. This marriages or this open work permit is not being issued just because someone wants to enter Canada. It's because that someone can come to Canada, live with a spouse, and help that spouse financially by working full time. So this is the main agenda behind spousal open work permits. So I can't say what will be the guarantees on this, but if it's a genuine marriage and if you fulfill all the requirements, financial requirements, or if you are a student, you give them the enrollment letter, or if you are on a work permit, you are working under NOC O, A and B, you have given at least 3 pay stubs, there are high chances that your file will get accepted. Although we have seen that, especially in northern India, that most of the consultants, they don't, or I wouldn't say consultants, ghost consultants, they don't know how to do this filing. They file these files as we do a spousal permanent residency or normal work permit. These applications are very different from those applications, and that's the reason that those people do get refusals. And once they get refusals, they contact licensed immigration consultants like us or Canadian lawyers, and those negative decisions can be converted into positive results.
Okay, yeah, I mean that's basically what I wanted to ask you next, which is, are there any particular factors that lead to a refusal in these applications?
Yes, if the marriage is not genuine, or if the marriage is just a marriage of convenience. If you remember, few months ago there was a story where someone in India committed suicide because the spouse was on a study permit in Canada, and as per the media stories, the spouse was not sponsoring his or actually her husband from Punjab. Now there are a few things I want to clear out. Firstly, this is not a sponsorship application. The application has to be applied by the applicant. And who is the applicant in this application? It's not someone who is a student in Canada, and it's not someone who is on a work permit. The applicant is the person who is outside Canada. The only thing the person who is in Canada can do is provide documentation that he or she is a full-time student, provides enrollment letters and all those documents. Or if that person is on work permit, provides documentation that he or she is working under NOC O, A, and B, provides 3 pay stubs. So that's the only support the person in Canada can give. It's not a sponsorship application. Sponsorship applications are for permanent residencies. So let's say we'll do a session on spousal PR thing, but if someone who is a Canadian citizen or a Canadian permanent resident wants to invite his or her spouse, that is a sponsorship application. Spousal open work permits are not sponsorship applications.
Okay, thank you so much. That's basically all the questions that I have. Next week we'll have another topic and we'll see you next Wednesday. But for today, that's all we have. That's all you needed to know about spousal open work permits. Thank you so much for watching.